Hey, this is Robert Romanus, aka Mike Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And I just had the greatest time talking to Joey on the Boys podcast. So thank you, man. And tune in.
First of all, Rat, you never let on how much you like a girl. Oh, Debbie. Hi. Two, you always call the shots. Kiss me. You won't regret it. Now, three, act like wherever you are, that's the place to be. Isn't this great? Four, when ordering food, you find out what she wants, then order for the both of you. It's a classy move. Now, the lady will have the linguine and white clam sauce and a Coke with no ice. And five, now this is most important, Rat. When it comes down to making out, whenever possible, put on side one of Led Zeppelin 4. Can you honestly tell me that you forgot? Forgot the magnetism of Robin Zander or the charisma of Rick Nielsen?
That's kid stuff.
Kid stuff. But how about the tunes? I want you to want me. The Dream Police. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Your mama's alright, your daddy's alright, but just seem a little bit weird. Surrender.
Come on, let's get out of here, all right?
No, look, this is rock code. Kilroy started this when rock went underground. I'm gonna
that's
start
great.
it up again.
That's great. It's really pretty. Now, come on, let's get out of here.
No.
Jonathan, look.
Give it a try, trust me. Why would I lie? Trust me.
And welcome back to a special episode of the Boys Podcast. My guest today is an actor and musician. You may have seen my guest in projects such as Mike Damone in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Ray in Chips, Jonathan Chance's friend in Styx's Kilroy Was Here, Marvin Speed Selico in Days of Our Lives, Milty Psycho Horowitz in Fame, Frank Bennett in MacGyver, Snake Robinson in The Facts of Life, Lenny in Will and Grace, and many more. He's also one half of the band Papa's Kitchen. So welcome the very talented, legendary icon himself. He's the greatest of all time, Mr. Robert Romanus. Welcome, Bob.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you on because that whole resume just speaks for itself. So it's an honor to have you on.
Well, take a long time to build it, but yeah, I'm kind of proud of it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. You're, in my opinion, like an '80s icon. You went from Fast Times to the Sticks right here, then to Fame, like '80s icon. So I'm sorry, this is really cool. Awesome. So Bob, what have you been up to? How you doing? How's Bob doing? That's the first one.
Bob's good. I'm having a good time right now, My kids all seem to be doing good. Um, I'm working here and there, doing a film in January called
Ooh.
Concert Heroes, and been doing these conventions, which is kind of fun, meeting a lot of people, and I got my health, so I'm paying my bills and I got my health. I don't know how much better it gets than that.
That's cool. That's cool. And that's cool. Like you've been doing a lot of cons I've been seeing lately. Yeah, like a lot. It's cool.
Well, I'm just starting to do that. I hooked up with this representative, and he keeps asking me if I want to do these shows. So yeah, I think I've done three in the last few months. So
That's cool. You got one coming up in December, don't you? I think in Indianapolis.
that's next weekend.
Oh no, yeah, that's quick, right? Yeah, December's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next weekend is Indianapolis, and then in January is Las Vegas,
Ooh,
and then in early February I'll work on that film. So.
ooh. When I think of Vegas, I think of Viva Las Vegas. Bob, what made you want to become an actor and musician? And do you have a biggest inspiration for music, acting? What's
Well, I came out here to Los Angeles in 1976, and my only real skill was I was a drummer, and
cool.
my ultimate dream job would be to have played drums on the Johnny Carson show in his band, and that never happened. But I got a job as a singing waiter.
Hmm.
I had to, bus tables or do all this stuff in the restaurant, but every once in a while you'd have to get up in front of the crowd and sing a song. And I was really shy. I still am kind of shy, but I figured, well, maybe I'll take an acting class and that'll help me get over my shyness. And my first day on stage in my acting class, I thought, wow, man, I can be all the things I want to be in life that I'm just too shy about or scared about. I can be all those things right up here on this stage and have a great excuse. It's not me, I'm acting. And I kind of fell in love with that idea. So that's how I got into acting to start. And I got pretty lucky in the first year of my taking classes and stuff where I landed a part in Foxes, the movie Foxes as Jodie Foster's boyfriend.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that was big deal for me. And so, all the time playing music, still playing music, but that's where I sort of put all my energy into was the acting. So that's how it all sort of started for me.
Is there any actors you liked growing up, like watching? I'm curious. Is there any like
I'm a big fan of like all the old time gangsters like Jimmy Cagney and Humphrey Bogart and Edward G. And I used to love those old movies, the what do you call them? The East Side Kids. That's the stuff I kind of grew up on. Later, when I got older, guys like Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and there's just so many good actors. Uh, I don't have any one actor that sticks out in my head, or even one band that sticks out in my head. My influences are all over the map, really.
that's cool. Now you remind me like are you part Italian? I don't know why you like just like remind me like you'd be like a part.
I'm full-blooded Lebanese.
That's cool.
Yeah, my grandparents on both sides came from the mountains of Lebanon. We're Catholic Lebanese, and yeah, full-blooded. Although people mistake me for Italian or Greek or even Spanish, but that's the big secret.
Wow. Yeah, I could maybe because maybe the Romanos, maybe that sounds Greek. I don't know. Maybe that's why people were thinking.
Yeah, could it sounds Italian. A lot of people think I'm Italian, sounds Greek, but it's actually not it's a kind of a popular name in Lebanon, actually. I don't want to say it's like Smith, but it's not uncommon.
That's pretty cool. Do you know any Lebanese? I'm curious. I don't know any Lebanese whatsoever. Do you know any Lebanese?
I knew a few words. My grandparents and all my aunts and uncles spoke it, and my parents spoke it, but as time goes on, they're all gone and there's nobody around to speak it, and I sort of forgotten everything but a few things.
Wow. I don't know any Lebanese, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wow. Now, what was your favorite acting role you portrayed? Your favorite acting role you've done?
Well, you know, uh, well, Fast Times certainly, because there was so much to the role that I could really sink my teeth into it. But to be honest with you, my favorite roles that I've ever played have always been in class because that's where I get to do roles in class that I would never get cast as. You know what I mean? I'm too dark, I'm too short, my voice is too low, but in class you can play any part you want. And so some of my favorite work has been in acting class, working on these roles. And one of my favorite authors to work on is Horton Foote. He's an American playwright and really lovely playwright. So he writes just really lovely characters. So yeah, I mean, honestly, Anywhere on a set, working on a movie, I'm always happy, even if there's turmoil on the set. I love being on the set. But my favorite roles, honestly, were in class.
That's pretty cool. Are you okay? You will say a couple quotes like for Mike Damone. You will say his 5 point plan if you remember that.
Well, I don't remember the whole thing, but I know, let's see. What you need, Rad, is my 5 point plan. You never let on how, I may say them, but not in the right order, but I know there's, you never let on how much you really like a girl. Oh, Debbie. Hi. Let's see. Wherever you are, that's the place to be. Isn't this great? Let's see. When ordering food, you find out what she wants, then you order for the both of you. The lady will have the linguine and a white clam sauce and a Coke with no ice. And then there's probably one more in there, but I do remember when it comes down to making out, put on side one of Led Zeppelin 4.
I like how he puts a difference. That's a classic. I'm sorry, that movie. I'm sorry, that's a classic right there. And you made the movie. I'm sorry, but you're like, oh my god, I'm sorry. So that was really cool.
Well, we were lucky in Fast Times. You know, you can sometimes have the best script and the best director and the best writer and the best everybody, actors, and it could not come out so good. And then sometimes I think it takes a little mojo, to a little magic in there. And I think Fast Times had it. I give Cameron Crowe all the credit for writing such a great piece, and I give Amy Heckerling all the kudos for casting, fighting for casting, and directing it really lovely. So
That's cool. Do you still keep in touch with your castmates from that movie? Do you still keep in touch with them?
not really. Once in a while, I'll run into them in town or where if I'm out of town or something. And we have a bond. It's like a brotherly, sisterly bond when you see them. So, but I don't really stay in touch with them.
That'd be cool. Like imagine like there's like a reunion, like for like a special anniversary.
I can't ever imagine that happening. That would be a really interesting film, I think.
Yeah. And then before my next question, if I could even play a video clip if that helps, if you're able to sing a little bit of "Trust Me," your favorite. I could even play a clip if that helps, so you can remember. So,
Yeah, all I remember of that song is "Trust Me." That's the lyric I remember. And I had done the show several times as a reoccurring guest, and somebody finally said in the production office said, "What's his talent?" Because I never had really a talent. And they said, well, we'll have him sing a song or two. And so that's how that came about. I ended up singing that song, Trust Me.
you have a pretty good voice. I'm not gonna lie, you got a damn good voice for Bob.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, like I say, music really was my first love. I never left it. It's always in my hip pocket. I play several different instruments and I write songs and I produce them in a studio. We have 11 CDs now, I think, on Spotify
That's awesome.
or all the streaming platforms. So, yeah, music to me, it's kind of a barometer in my life. If I'm feeling down or feeling, not right, I find I'm listening to the news. You know what I mean? Or talk radio or something. And when I'm in a good mood, I'm always listening to music. So it kind of helps me. It's like, hey, Bob, you're, you need to listen to more music here because this is really bumming, adding to your bummer of a day. So it's kind of a barometer. I love it. I don't even really do it for other people. I do it for myself. And it's sort of cathartic. Writing like that to me is cathartic, helps me get out uh, whatever's on my mind.
That's pretty cool. And then I was listening to some of Papa's Kitchen, like that. The songs you guys sing, that's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
It's pretty fun.
We're all over the place. You know, we got some kind of jazzy tunes, some really rockin' tunes, some very slow, mellow tunes. So we're kind of all over the place.
It's cool. You guys gotta do a con. If you guys did a concert out here, that'd be cool. Like a little mini concert. Why not? I'd watch. I'd see.
Well, I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out, you know.
Cool. That'd be cool. That'd be pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. You could sing during the show. I'd go in a heartbeat. You know?
All right, I sold one ticket.
You could sell the tickets, like or you could resell the tickets. You could be
Ticket scalper and scalp tickets to my own concert.
am I able to play some of Trust Me so you could see like a little thing from the past?
Sure, go right ahead, man.
Okay.
I'd be interested to hear it after all these years.
Okay, let me pull it up for you. It's you still look the same too, which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie about you still,
Thank you, man.
We didn't quite hit it off just right. So I thought I'd give you a call. It's getting off on the wrong foot, honey. It's not getting off at all. I've been walking a lonely street. I seen you walking it too. So if you're thinking maybe, listen to me, baby. There's only one thing you can do. Trust me.
Trust me.
Give it a try. Trust me. Why would I lie? Trust me. Now what can I do for you?
so you think, Bob? It's a
It
lot
had
more.
a real Randy Newman feeling to it. That was
You-
fun. That was so much fun, you know.
That's cool. I've actually interviewed the ones that are still, around. I've actually interviewed like Danny, Eliza Heinz. Do you remember these people when you
Of
were?
course, yeah, of course. That was so much fun, that show, you know. I mean, everybody was young and so much energy. And those kids, they worked their butts off, man. They would be up at 6 a.m. and they'd go into the recording studio, record a song, and then they'd go to dance rehearsal. And then they'd come and shoot all day long. And then it would just keep going around and around. They worked so hard, these people. So, but good thing they were young, you know, and then all talented. And what a fun show to work on, really.
Pretty cool. Are you able to say "trust me"? I can't do it like how you do it.
Trust me. That's all I know.
Trust me. I can't do how you could do it. You do it so perfect.
That's a Johnny Cash influence. Trust me.
Thank you. That was awesome. I'm sorry, but that song it's catchy too. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
Well, they had good writers on Fame, you know.
That's cool.
Talent, very talented people.
That's cool. Pretty neat. It's the '80s too. I love my '80s. Okay, now can you walk me through the audition process? How did you get the role of Mike Damone and Milty? From Fame.
Gosh. Well, Milty was almost an offer.
Ooh.
You know, I came in to do a guest star. A lot of shows turned out like that for me, where I'd come in and do a guest. I went in and did a under five lines on the Days of Our Lives. Ended up being like 2 years of work for me, you know. And Fame, sort of the same thing. I think I went in, met with the director and the producers, and got a guest star role. And they just liked my character so much they kept bringing me back, you know, and finally incorporated me into all the rest of the kids. So Fast Times was a different story. My very first audition with Fast Times, I went in and I read a couple scenes, and Amy Heckerling, the director, she said, "Don't cut your hair, that long hair, you know." So I thought, hey, that's great, man. I got a shot at getting this, you know. And I didn't hear from them for a week. And I thought, oh, well, I guess I didn't get it. And then I got a call. They want to see you again. So a week goes by. I go back in. I read more scenes from them. And Amy's just loving everything I'm doing. And I thought, yeah, hey, I got a shot, got a shot. I go home. I didn't hear anything for another week.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, I guess I didn't get it. And then I get a call. They want to see you again. And this went on for, I'm going to say 4 or 5, 6 weeks. And finally, Amy Heckerling had taken me to makeup. She'd put me in wardrobe. I had improvised for them in the audition room, did improvisations. I read every scene in the script. And finally, I said, I really like the part. I think I can do a nice job, but I'm not going to come back for you again. I'm not coming back again because it's very emotional. I mean, you're a young actor, here's an opportunity for a nice role, and you get psyched up, you might get it, and then you get let down, you didn't get it. Then you get psyched up, and then you get let down, psyched up, and let down. It's like, come on, man, either hire me or not. And that's when the producer said, welcome aboard, he said. And I found out later, not too long ago, a few years ago, that the uh, the hitch was the producer, one of the producers. He thought I was too old. Thought I looked too old, and so they kept seeing other people, younger people, and stuff. And Amy kept fighting for me, and so finally, that's how it all came about.
So they thought so that guy or that producer thought you were way too old. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, he's a really good producer. He's produced some really big films. His name was Art Linson. He's an excellent producer, really, and has some big films under his belt. But in that case, I thought he was wrong.
That's pretty cool. You finally see. I can't name a better actor to portray you or portray Mike Damone. Like I mean, like
Oh, thanks, man. Well, they saw everybody. They went to New York, they went to Los Angeles, and I guess I'm not sure exactly what they were looking for,
that's
but
fun.
I think Amy had it in her head from the day one. Don't cut your hair, she said. And Art Linson had it in his head. He looks too old. So that was their battle. And finally, Art gave in, and I got the part and changed my life.
That's good. At least you didn't cut your hair though. That's good. At least you didn't cut that hair.
Yeah.
That would have been bad. I think she'd be like, "Why?" And then another one, like for how do you get the sticks role? Like for did they ask you since they saw you in Fast Times?
Yeah, that just was an offer.
That's
And
cool.
Tommy Shaw, they needed an actor to work with Tommy Shaw, who was not an actor. You know what I mean? And I guess they thought, well, if we bring me in, who I'm an actor, maybe we can play off each other and make it work in that sense. And so yeah, that was an offer. That was fun too, man. So much fun.
That's cool.
Tommy Shaw, great guy.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm saying I'm a big Sticks fan. That's pretty cool. I saw.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. I got to know Tommy pretty well back then, and what a nice guy. Just a real nice, down to earth Midwestern kid who could play the heck out of the guitar and sing like crazy.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the whole even like the revelation with Dennis DeYoung though, as he plays Kilroy, when he comes out with the robot costume. So
It was an interesting concept, and and they pulled it off. It was fun.
it's pretty cool. I'm sorry, the '80s though. You know what I mean, Bob? Like they don't make the music, the movies. I'm sorry, like you know what I mean?
A lot of people love the 80s. They have 80s events everywhere. 80s in the sand in Punta Cana. They have 80s cruise ships, and they keep bringing back these 80s stars and rock bands and entertaining. It's a very popular decade. You never hear of the 90s cruises. So for some reason, the 80s really, there's a lot of interest in the 80s. The music, the movies.
It's cool. I'm guessing you're a obviously, but you're a big '80s fan, probably. I'm guessing with all this stuff.
No, I go back further.
Johnny Cash.
I go back to Johnny Cash. My influences in music all come from the 60s. I think I bought my first 45 record in 1964 or 65. I grew up on the radio, listening to all the top 10 stuff on the radio, and then acid rock hit in the late 60s, with the Vietnam and all that stuff. And those are all my influences. And some of my favorite movies go back to the 60s and the 70s too. It's before the corporations and big business sort of took over the studios, when you could make a movie like Easy Rider or so yeah, those are my influence. I could appreciate the 80s, but my influences go back even further, 60s, 70s.
So if you could go back in time, you'd go back to the 60s, you're saying? Just go back to
Well, if I could go back in time, yeah, I think the late 60s was a really fun, interesting time to be a young teenager. I mean, it was a lot of turmoil, a lot of division in the country, especially about the Vietnam War. But yeah, the music, I love the music. I love the whole hippie thing. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun.
Now, if you were stranded on an island, what three famous people, dead or alive, would you be on a stranded island with? I'm curious.
Wow. Well, gosh, there's so many interesting people.
Johnny Cash.
Well, I could see Johnny Cash or Bob Dylan. Love to just sit and hear what he has to say. Um, Love to talk to Jesus, you know, see what he has to say. Uh, I really don't know. I'm not sure what three people I would want that I could live with on an island, you know. Uh, yeah, that's a tough question for me. I really couldn't answer that. A lot of people I'd like to talk to, and uh, so sorry, I can't answer that one for you.
It's so many people you can name. I mean, it's like tough to
Yes,
narrow it down to
exactly.
three.
Yeah, there is no top three. There's like a top 300. You know.
True, that is true. Now, is there a certain type of role you love to portray, like a sci-fi, a western, certain type of role?
Well, I've always wanted to do a Western. You
That'd be
know, I grew up watching Westerns all the time, love them, just love them.
right.
Uh, and no, there isn't a certain type of role that I like to play. I like certainly to be challenged. I like, bad guys are always fun, you know, and and yeah, there isn't any role. I just like to look at what it is and see how I can approach it. And for me, it really is about the process of music too. It's
Mm,
all about the process. I rarely go back and watch anything I did. I may have seen the whole of Fast Times one more time after, 1982. And same with music. I have 11 CDs. I rarely go back and listen to any of the songs I did because for me, the joy is in the process of doing it,
mm.
making it. The process is in the joy of finding out who is this character, exploring that. That to me is the joy. So there isn't any type really of character I like to play.
It's pretty cool. So, did you see that Fame clip in a while, or have you never seen it? I'm curious.
I've seen it a long time ago, but yeah, uh, no, I haven't seen that in probably years. It was fun. I look so young.
Like, wow, that's you. I'm sorry, but you still look the same, Bob. You still do, which is pretty cool. So,
Thanks for saying so, man.
of course, of course. Now, if you didn't go into acting or music, what do you think your career would have been? And do you have any hobbies? Like, do you bike? I don't know, hike. Would you have any hobbies?
Uh, well, I like to golf.
Ooh, golfer.
Where I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut. My whole family's from Vermont. I have five older brothers who were all born in Vermont, where my father was born. And then just before I was born, they moved to Hartford, Connecticut. And Hartford is the insurance capital of the world. So if you didn't know what you wanted to do when you were in high school or college, a lot of people ended up selling insurance. So I have I'm sure I wouldn't have been happy, but that probably would have been where I ended up doing something like that, you know.
Insurance. You would have been Bob Romanus, the pro golfer.
No, no. The Duffer, Bob Romanus, the Duffer. My goal these days is not to hurt myself, you
Mm,
know. Swinging a club, oh God, my back. It's all that stuff these days, but I still enjoy getting out there, you know.
that's cool. So you like golfing? Any other hobbies besides golfing?
Um, no, not really. That's why, music is a huge part of my life, you
That's
know, uh, and that's where I go to. These days, I've been playing a lot of drums,
ooh,
which is the first thing I started when I was a young kid at about 8 years old. I started playing drums. My father had just passed away. I was 8 years old, and my brother Richard had come back from New York, and he brought a drum set for
wow.
me and my other brother Billy. And that's just sort of where all my energy went, all my feelings about losing my father and all that stuff. And I'd sit down in my basement and I'd play drums for hours, play the records, all day long. And I did play a lot of sports when I was young, uh, football mostly.
Ooh, okay.
I played football from when I was a little peewee all the way through high school, and then made a decision to stop playing in high school because I really wanted to play music. And I had a coach who said, "Hey, it's either music or football." And I said, "Music." And I quit the team.
Wow,
So,
pretty cool. What position did you play? I'm curious. I'm a football
well, I
fan.
played a few different positions. I was a halfback. I tried quarterback. But finally, my favorite position was a defensive guard.
Ooh,
I was a little guy, but I was kind of strong and really quick. And I could shoot the gap between the center and the guard and head right for the quarterback, at least disrupt him. And that was sort of my job, and I really enjoyed that.
so you were small but mighty, right? Small but mighty.
Yes, yes. Well, I don't know how mighty, but when you're a peewee, nobody's really that mighty. But I was fast.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty. See, football is my favorite sport. So talk about
Oh,
football.
great.
It's my favorite sport.
Who's your team? Bears?
I would like the Bears, but their quarterback's a jerk. You know what I mean? I would like the Bears, but
Really?
he's not nice. Caleb Williams. You're probably a big football fan. Caleb Williams is not that nice, actually.
Well, I used to root for the Patriots because I grew up in New England.
Okay.
But over the last so many years, especially with my own kids who grew up out here, I've become an LA fan. I like the Dodgers. I used to
Okay.
root for the Red Sox. I root for the Dodgers, and I root for the Rams or the Chargers. Really,
Hmm.
I like the Chargers because it's a Harbaugh, coach. So and they're a pretty good team. So these days, I don't really have a dog in the hunt.
Well, do you have a favorite for the Super Bowl? You think's going to win it all? I'm curious. Anybody think so?
I really don't. The teams I thought were going to come back out and crush them and crush, like the Patriot, not the Patriots, but Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they're really. I don't know what happened. Like they
I don't
flipped.
know what happened to the Chiefs, but they're struggling right now. And Baltimore, who I'm a big fan of, they came out. I think they lost like 4 or 5 of their first games, and last night they got creamed. They had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. You can't win a game with 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I root for Baltimore because when my one of my youngest son was like 5 years old, one of his friends, family friend, gave him a Baltimore jersey.
That's cool.
So he became a Baltimore fan. I don't know how or where or why, but he just loved that jersey, became a Baltimore fan. So I in a show of solidarity, I started to watch the Ravens with him and actually became a fan. I
That's
like
cool.
the team.
And you mentioned the 5 turnovers. I have Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team, so you know what I mean.
Oh my God. Not your day.
That was bad. It's like, no. You know what I mean? And the Bengals aren't that good. No offense. Like, what the hell happened here?
They showed up yesterday, I'll tell you. They
Yeah,
totally shut down the offense of Baltimore. And that Joe Burrows, man,
yeah.
injury or whatever, he was on point,
He came
making
back with a vengeance.
plays.
I say he came back with a vengeance, basically.
And yeah, he sure did.
They didn't do that good against the Bears. I don't get it. Like, they bet the Bears stomp on the Bengals. That makes no sense. Why would they do that?
I think that's what when you get into the pros like that, some days are just like that. You know what I mean? You can't do anything right, even though you're a pro. Some days you just can't do anything right. And yesterday that was the case for the Ravens.
Yeah. Is there any Raven guys you like? Is there players you like, or any general non Ravens? Is there any players you like?
Well, uh, well, I certainly love Lamar and the running back. What's his name?
Oh, Derrick Henry, King
Henry,
Henry. They call
Derrick
him.
Henry. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I just like the team. I can't specifically pull out a player for you. Um, yeah,
Did you like players back then? Go back.
way back when.
Yeah. Did you like players when they like, I don't know, like the
Was
'90s?
growing up, when I was growing up, yeah, of course.
Growing up.
But I'm looking at like Joe Namath.
Oh, yeah.
That takes you way back to one of the first few Super Bowls. Joe Namath, Bart Starr, uh, quarterbacks were always kind of standouts. I loved uh, I loved the combination between was it Joe Montana and Jerry Rice,
Oh, with the 49ers.
the 49ers. Just like I say, I don't really have a dog in the hunt. I'm not all that passionate about it. You know what I mean? I don't go breaking my TV when the team loses and screaming out the door. And I usually will end up rooting for the underdog. I
That's
like to see them have their day.
I like that. Yeah, I actually got a couple buddies that are actually one that's with the Tennessee Titans, and then one is with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
so appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's like, I'm a big football fan. Like, that's up my alley. So you mentioned football.
Oh, good. Love that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, some of your personal favorites: movies, shows, band, artists, and type of music, and sports and teams.
Okay, well, some of my favorite artists.
What do you like?
Well, once again, I'm gonna say I love like Bob Dylan, Tom Waits, uh, the Beatles, uh, and I can even go back to like guys like Dean Martin, Frank
Ooh.
Sinatra, you know, um, even some of the big band stuff, you know. Like I say, it's my influences are all over the place and a lot. So it's not like I have, this is the guy that made me want to do this, or this is the guy that made me want to, all these guys made me want to do this, you know. So as far as music goes, yeah, I'd say, you know, the Beatles were a big influence on me. I remember seeing them for the very first time on the Ed Sullivan Show and thinking, I got to get myself some Beatle boots, you know. It was really funny. Uh, um, that whole British invasion, I was a big fan of. The Beach Boys, I'm a huge fan of Brian Wilson. Love Brian Wilson. I think he's just a pop genius, you know. And yeah, let me see. As far as movies go, like I was telling you, I really love those old gangster movies. Uh, I love Sergio Leone, you know, those spaghetti westerns like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
Mm.
Fistful of Dollars, you know, I love that stuff. Um, I love Clint Eastwood, the
He's
whole Dirty Harry series, you know. Uh, so let me see what else.
TV shows. What TV show? Do you like any TV shows?
Oh, sure. I grew up on TV, you know, watching the Wild Wild West. I don't know if you know that show, Bonanza, you know, Gunsmoke. I still watch Gunsmoke today, you know.
Classic.
I
So
love Gunsmoke. And Leave It to Beaver. Um, you know, these are the shows I would, you know, every Saturday morning I'd get up and there'd be a half a bowl of popcorn left over from the night before, and 7 a.m. I turn on the Three Stooges and sit there and watch them for an hour. You know, love the Three Stooges. So, uh, like I say, they're all over the place. My influences, you know,
that's cool. I don't know why, but I could see you being like a. Did you like Abbott and Costello? Curious, I don't know. I could see that.
love them. Who's on first? I love them. Very funny guys, Abbott and Costello. Uh, yeah, fantastic comedians. Jerry Lewis, I love
Mm.
those Jerry Lewis movies, you know, the bellhop, Jekyll and Hyde, you
Mm.
know. I mean, it's just some really, really good and talented people out there, you know. And and if I'm if I'm truly engaged in the movie and I'm not sitting there going, well, that's not the same shirt he had on last time. You know, if I'm truly engaged in it, I don't notice anything. I'm just right there with it, you know. And so yeah,
Very cool. See, like even like those movies too, like they're classics. You can't like, you know what I mean, replicate that good, authentic feeling. You know what I mean, Bob?
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, it seems to me like nowadays that you know, it's like it, I don't know. I may be wrong, but it feels to me like there's a lot of business minds making creative decisions.
Mm. Yep.
Uh, and it really sort of is about bringing in $1 billion rather than making a nice movie, you know. So that's sort of where it seems to be today, especially with all the action, Marvel kind of stuff, and you know. Um, so yeah, I like to go back to the days when, you know, the guy sitting behind the chair in the studio chomping on a cigar is like, yeah, go ahead and make that, you know. Let's see what happens. So Jimmy Stewart, love Jimmy Stewart. Uh, yeah, I think also, you know, some of those Bogart movies where he got out of his gangster mode and became like a Treasure of Sierra Madre is an amazing movie. Um, Casablanca, you know, all that stuff. I just love that stuff. So
Classics. I'm sorry, but like, wow, I agree with you on that statement though. You said because like they don't like have the emotion. Like they worry about the more it's in the pocket than the real. You know what I mean? You know, I know what you mean, Bob. I agree.
all about the money, you know.
Absolutely
More
right.
money, more money, more money.
And do you have besides like sports? You like the Dodgers? You said the Ravens. Any other? You like just football and baseball? I'm guessing. Any other sports?
I love soccer. I watch soccer whenever it's on. I'm a huge soccer fan, and but mostly what I get here is Premier League,
Okay.
the English soccer. So I love that. I watch it all the time, and I'm thrilled when they do the internationals and I get to see like an Italian team or Spanish team or something. So I'm a huge fan of soccer, never was, but when my twins were 4 years old, and this was about 25, 26 years ago, I took them over to the local park and enrolled them both in AYSO, which is the Youth Soccer League, at 4 years old. They both loved it. They took off with it. And my son Elias, he played it all the way through college, and my daughter Annabelle was a goalie for a high school team. So I really became a big fan of soccer. I'd say that's my number one sport to watch.
Soccer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Can I ask how many kids you got? I'm curious. You mentioned like three different kids
I
you
have
have.
three kids. I have twins that are 30 years old, a
Wow.
boy and a girl. One of them lives in Miami and lives and works in Miami. My daughter Annabelle now lives in Vermont.
Wow.
And my son Dayton is in Los Angeles. He's in another week, he'll be 29. And he is a stand up comedian.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. That's
It,
pretty. That's pretty
it
fun.
is.
That's pretty. Does he have anything online I could watch him? I'm curious. Does he have any
Well, if you went to like Dayton Romanus Comedy,
Damn.
Romanos comedy, Dayton Romanus comedy. He's got clips of his of things that he's done. So
I'll check
I'm
him
really
out.
happy for him. I'm proud of him. You'd never get me up there doing stand-up comedy. To me, it's terrifying, but he just loves it. So uh, more power to him, I say.
It's pretty cool. I'll check him out. I'll help support him. That's pretty cool. You never know
Yeah,
what if I
he's.
like his style. Sorry. You were saying something. I'm sorry. You were saying.
Oh no, I'm just saying how proud I am of him that he gets up there and
Cool.
hangs his butt out the window, as they say, and it's just I have so much fun watching him. You know,
Pretty cool. I think you say he lives in Dayton, Ohio. That'd been funny if you said Dayton lives in Dayton, Ohio.
you know the rumor is my ex-wife, uh, who I have the kids with, is that her great 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 grandfather founded Dayton, Ohio. I've never been able to prove it, but because of that, we ended up naming him Dayton,
Hmm.
which was in a family name of hers. So, and I love it, and I love it because it's very unique. I've never met another Dayton anywhere.
Neither have I. Honestly, I've never met a single Dayton. No, I've never met one. And
Yeah,
then
check out his comedy. It's funny.
I'll check him out. And then I'm guessing you're based in Los Angeles. That's where
I
you're from.
Yeah, I've been here. I moved out here in 1976, like I say, uh, and I've been here ever since. So most of my life now, I've been out here in Los Angeles. It's changed quite a bit, but I still like it. Can't beat the weather. I'll say that.
That's what's like a big positive. I'm sorry, but that's a big positive. The weather
74 and sunny today. I mean, it's beautiful out. So,
must be nice. But that's like 15 degrees, so it must be nice.
telling you, I don't know how you guys do it.
Must be nice. Like wow.
Yeah.
Did you?
And I grew up in New England, so I remember the days of going out with a flannel shirt on. I used to be able to do that. Nowadays I just sit there shivering. I can't get warm enough.
True, true. Did you try our pizza when you were here in Chicago? Did you try any pizza or any food? Any good?
No, I didn't. I mean the crew brought in pizza for all the employees and the volunteers and stuff. So for lunch every day we had pizza, but it wasn't like Chicago deep dish wonderful pizza. I think it was more along the lines of I don't want to say Domino's, but you know, but it's free food, and I'm an actor, and that's just sort of synonymous.
Well, if you ever come back in the Chicago or Illinois area, let me know. We could give you some good deep dish here. We could help you out.
I would like to try that for sure.
We got you. Got you. Are there any projects in the works? Anything coming up for the legend? Anything in the works?
Well, like I say, I am doing this movie called Concert Heroes in January
That's
or
exciting.
early February. I had a small part, but the premise is that the real heroes of concerts are the audience. That's their concept. So it's a cute little movie, and I look forward to working on that. And then these conventions, I've got Indianapolis next weekend. I've got Las Vegas in January, and hopefully I'll set up a few more along the year.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You should come back to Chicago. I know you were just here, but you should come back to Chicago.
Hey, anytime. I didn't get to see Chicago much, but I really enjoyed the people. I got a little flavor of what the Chicago people are like in that area, and I really enjoyed them. So that's kind of the fun thing about going to all these different places is you get people who come from far away, but most of the people are really sort of local, you know what I mean? Maybe an hour or two away or even closer. So you get a kind of a sense of middle America.
True. True that. True that. I thought also too when you said favorite music, I think you say Sticks or Cheap Trick, right? Because you know what I mean.
I'll be honest with you, when I was doing Fast Times, I had to go out and buy Cheap Trick album because I didn't really know them.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm like, I have to what? I don't know these songs. So I went out and bought some Cheap Trick albums and sat down and listened to them and learned them. And, I've become a fan. Obviously, they're great. But it was not, like I say, my influence goes way back, you know. I'm not sure, but I think, by the time you're like 14 or 15 years old, you, you've, you've, those are your influences. You know,
Mm.
early teenage years are where music really kind of, if you're into it, really kind of grabs you, and that's sort of your wheelhouse. And like I say, I bought my first record. I think it was uh, Double Shot of My Baby's Love.
Oh,
It's a really cool old tune. And I think I bought it in 1964 or 65. You go down the local record store and for 30 cents you buy a little 45 record. Come home and play it on your hi-fi all day long. So
that's a funny scene too. Like when you were like funny when you were like saying something with Robin Zander and Rick Nielsen. That was pretty fun.
Charisma of Robin Zander and yeah, I had to kind of learn all those tunes. I had to go and buy the records so I knew what they were.
Yeah, when you for the surrender thing too, like you said, mom was. You said like it was funny the way.
Mama's all right, your daddy's all right. They just seem a little bit weird. Surrender.
Yeah,
And who I was saying that to was I think her character name was Dina, but that was Pam Springsteen. That was Bruce Springsteen's little sister.
really? That now you just shocked me. That was really. Are you serious?
Yeah. That was her sitting on the bleachers that I was trying to sell the tickets to was Pam Springsteen.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Would have been really crazy if she was related to Cheap Trick, and if she was related to Cheap Trick to some.
Oh, that could be a little weird.
And then Styx is pretty. Do you like Styx? Out? Do you like their cat? They got pretty good
Yeah, I
catalog.
do like sticks.
Yeah, cool.
I do like them. When I was in college in Cincinnati, I went to Xavier University. I used to work the venue, the big auditorium there, so I could go watch all the concerts for free. If you're working there, you get to see the concerts. And I remember Styx came there a couple times before I really knew who they were, and I was really impressed, loved them. And then years later, got to meet them all and work with Tommy Shawn and them all. And so that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah, because I don't know if you knew both Sticks and Cheap Trick are actually from Chicago or Illinois. They're from Illinois. I don't know if you ever knew that.
Well, I know Tommy Shaw. He grew up in Michigan, like right over the border.
Yeah.
I think Niles, Michigan. That sounds familiar to me.
You know your like your history. It seems like you're good.
Well, I, you know, I remember what I remember. You know what I mean? There's so much I forgot, really. So much I forgot. And but then, I talk to someone like you and you're like pull up that fame thing and it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Wow, that was fun." So,
I was tempted to pull I was tempted to pull up the clip of like everybody listen. I was tempted to pull. That's funny. And then I forgot to mention favorite food. That was part of the favorites thing. Favorite food. Do you have a favorite food?
well,
What does Bob like? What do you like to eat? I'm curious.
Bob loves spaghetti and meatballs.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Go wrong with spaghetti and meatballs. I love Middle Eastern food. I love well, when I cook,
Okay.
there's a few things I cook because when you're father of three kids and single father of three kids, you can't go out to eat all the time. So I really learned how to cook, and I make a nice chicken stir fry. I make a nice chicken pot pie. I do nice roast chicken, you know, and it's not basic cooking. I'm not a gourmet by any chance, by any means, but I do like to cook. I cook a lot at home. And my latest thing is the stir fry. I just can't get enough of it because a little chicken stir fry with all the vegetables over a little rice, and it's just delicious.
That sounds good. Wow. That sounds really good. You mentioned like you like Italian stuff. It seems like you would be Italian, but you're not. But it seems like
No, I'm not. But when it was for a while there, all my brothers had moved out of the house, and it was just me and my mother when I was in high school, and I think 3 or 4 nights a week we'd have spaghetti. Not because it
wow.
was easy, but because we both loved it, you know. So it's also kind of comfort food. So
That's cool. I don't know if you can tell my last name. I'm Italian. You can tell right away my last name.
yeah, I can. Yeah.
It's
What's
funny.
your favorite food?
My favorite food besides spaghetti and meatball, I actually do like spaghetti and meatballs, but I like a good burger. You like burgers?
I forgot that. You're right. A good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
We gotta find a good burger place. Wouldn't that be nice? Like a nice, good burger place.
Yep. I think a lot of it is in the bun, you know. A lot of good burger is all about the bun. Because otherwise it's just burger, you know. Burger and you put lettuce. When I order a burger, I order it with cheese and a slab of onion, and that's it. And keep all your lettuce and tomato and your special sauce and all that stuff. Just give me the basics. That and a good hot dog. I love a good hot dog. I love a good Chicago dog.
Yeah, we have good hot dogs here, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's pretty cool. What advice would you give younger people who want to become an actor? What's the legend's advice? Legend.
Well, uh, you know, my advice to young people who want to be actors are if you can do anything else, do it. You know, if you can do anything else, do it because it's the kind of thing in music too that you get so much rejection,
Mm,
that if you're not in it for the right reasons, and the right reasons are not about wanting to be a star or wanting to make a ton of dough, but the right reasons are because you love the process of acting. You know what I mean? And so no matter how many times you hear no, you just want to keep doing it. So
okay.
persistence and I'd say read a lot, read anything you can get your hands on, because the more you know, the better more you can bring to whatever it is you're playing, you know. So yeah, I'd say, be in it for the right reasons, and then it takes a little bit of luck, you know.
Oh. And you'll land that iconic role like Fast Times for You. That was crazy. You told me how the whole process, how they it's like what the hell?
Yes, exactly, And there's so many things I read for that I never got, And so that can be very frustrating. You start questioning yourself and all that self-doubt and stuff. And so you have to really want it, really want to do the work, really want to play the music and write the songs and really want to act and play these characters to get through all the bull crap that comes your way.
True, true that, true that. Now, would you be willing in the future to come back on for a part two, answer some fan questions in the future? If some fans have questions, like if they comment them on the video, for example, and I could say, "Hey, or so like let's say Bob Romanus fan or something." I don't know, like some fan and the questions.
You get a little action and yeah, sure. I
Uh,
can answer questions, so
be cool. You never know if someone asks, "Oh, I got a question for Bob." Awesome.
as long as it's not what's his favorite color.
What's his favorite color? Where's he? Okay, where's he right now? Okay, I'm kidding. Trying to now, before I ask you my last question, Bob, do you have any questions? Do you have any
No,
questions?
no, I don't. No, I don't. Just happy to talk to you.
Thank you. It's an honor, honestly, have you on because you're a legend, honestly, Bob. So it's really cool.
I appreciate you saying that.
Of course,
You know,
of course.
I don't feel like it.
But you are though. You've done so many. I mean, you're
I'm stunned when somebody wants to come up, when somebody wants my autograph. I'm like, really? Me? Okay. If you want it, here it is. But I'm very flattered, but I'm always a little stunned at the end of the day that on these conventions and stuff, it's like, but I'm just a regular guy. That's how I see myself. That's how I feel. So, but I get it when, I get very starstruck myself. So, when I see somebody, I know what the feeling is like. And, if you can bring a few minutes of happiness to somebody by talking and a little bit and signing a picture, why wouldn't you do that?
true. True that. You're very humble. I can tell you're very down to earth, like humble. Uh,
Well, I try to be. I try to, keep my feet in the ground. So,
Grounded. You're very grounded.
yeah.
That's cool. And then a little side question before my last one. Is there any weird things you ever had to sign? I'm curious now. You mentioned, do you ever say anything really weird or cool? Like a little side question.
If I've ever what?
Sign anything cool or weird? Like
Oh
any?
gosh, this last show in Chicago, somebody I think was like from 1985 brought in some Blue Oyster Cult tickets. Yeah, I signed that, that was kind of cool. And for Fast Times, I see a lot of like posters that I've never seen before, things like that. So yeah, nothing really cooler than a Blue Oyster Cult ticket, or somebody brings in concert tickets from a certain period or something. That's all kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. And the blue that's do you like blue? I know you were in the movie. You were talking about this thing, but do you like Blue Oyster Cult? I'm curious yourself. Does Bob himself like Blue Oyster Cult?
I don't really listen to them, but I like them. You know what I mean? But they're not on my playlist. You know, I got like Patty Page and Ella Fitzgerald and things like that on my playlist. I got Van Morrison, Bob Dylan, uh, Uh,
You like the Doors? I'm curious. Do you like the Doors
of
at
the
all?
Doors. I got them on my playlist. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the Doors a lot. And that's in my wheelhouse because that's in the late 60s, and music was really hitting me hard, really influencing me. And
Yeah, I mentioned the Doors because if you noticed my side Doors.
yeah, I saw that. I love that.
So I like the Doors too. So it's pretty cool. And then you mentioned it'd be really cool when you come to Chicago. I got you to sign a Fame picture because I don't know if you ever signed a Fame picture. That'd be cool. You gotta sign a Milty picture.
I don't even know where I could get one, but if I could, I'd put some out on my table. So
I got you. I'll make some for you. I'll send you some over some pictures.
oh, I'd love that.
That'd be cool.
I would love it. Yeah.
That'd be, and you got the best spot to sign. You can sign right there in the yellow. See the yellow? It's like the
Uh-huh.
best. Perfect.
Yeah,
And
it's really nice. That's cool. I love that you did that, man. Appreciate it.
of course, I don't know if it's pretty cool. Like I got all these different. It's like a little career timeline.
Yeah.
It almost looks like too. Johnny Cash is playing guitar with you almost in a way right there. I don't know if you see right there. It almost looks like you guys are playing
Love
guitar
that.
with each other. It's pretty cool. Is there anything you want to promote and shout out that the viewers can check out? Anything coming up, or anything you want to promote?
Uh, well, I'm always like to promote my music. Papa's Kitchen. It's it's a really interesting stuff. There's some really good stuff there. And like I say, the influences come from all over the place. So there's a lot of different types of songs that we have, but it, it all has a sort of kind of California whimsical pop, I've never really been able to describe it, but if you're out there and you want to check it out, Papa's Kitchen. We don't have a website, but you can catch it on any streaming device, really.
Spotify for Papa's Kitchen.
Spotify, yeah, definitely Spotify. And iTunes, if they even still have that, I don't know.
I
Uh,
don't. I don't.
Wherever you can download or stream music, you'll find our band. And it's
Great.
basically me and Steve, me and my buddy Steve.
Not you and Johnny.
I wish it was me and Johnny, but we have a song called Johnny Cash.
Pretty cool. Yeah, you
So,
guys have pretty catchy tunes. I'm sorry.
oh, thanks. I like them. I like them. You know,
Pretty
I
cool.
like writing them. I like producing them and recording them. And then I just send them off out into the universe and rarely go back and listen to them, but I certainly enjoyed it when I was doing it.
That's cool. And isn't Steve from here, Chicago? Is he from Chicago?
He is. He's from Evanston.
Oh,
Is it
that's not
Evanston? Yeah.
that far from me. That's like 20 minutes away from me. I'm not kidding. This was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He grew up there, went to White Sox baseball camp. You watch, you like the White Sox or the Cubs?
I was just the White Sox. I was just
Oh, poor White Sox. Well, he's a big baseball fan, real Chicago guy. Great guy, really. And it's very hard to find someone you can collaborate with and get along with. And we've been doing this now probably since the year 2000.
2000.
Yeah, we met at the restaurant where I told you I was a singing waiter. That's where
Okay,
we met.
that's
And that
pretty.
was probably in 1980. And
Wow.
then, yeah, sometime later, we decided we would get together. And because he was going through stuff in his life, and I was going through divorce, and we decided we're going to get together twice a week, and we're just going to throw up all our
Emotions.
junk. Yes, exactly. So I'd put down a drum track one time, and then he'd put down a guitar one time, and I'd put down a bass, and then we'd sing whatever was on our mind. I had a messed up week. And that we religiously met twice a week for many years. And then we're listening to some of the songs and thinking maybe we should really try and write something, something that somebody could listen to. And so we did. and we've been doing it ever since.
Is there a meaning behind Papa's Kitchen? Like the name, the name of the band?
I can't, Steve could tell you that. I don't really know. I think we started in the kitchen, in his apartment in the kitchen area, with a little 4-track, 8 cassette player. They used to have those little, I think, TAC 4 tracks. It's like what
Mm-hmm.
the Beatles recorded Sergeant Pepper's on. I think they had 2 of them. And eventually we graduated to reel, like a 8-track reel to reel. And then, once the computers and everything came into being, we set up a nice little studio in his house.
Pretty cool.
Here, I'll show you my drum set.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Play the drums. Okay, okay.
That's the Rogers kit from like 1965 or 66. I've had
That
it
is
for many
cool.
years. That's all I want. That's all I need is just those few drums.
That's pretty cool. I'm sorry. That's where I come out for a concert. I'd go instantly. If you guys had a concert, I'd go instantly.
All right, 1 ticket sold. Maybe you get your mother to come. 2 tickets.
I'll get my other family members more
There you
tickets.
go. 4 tickets.
That'd be
Call
cool.
my manager.
Thank you again, Bob, for the fun and awesome time. It was an honor chatting with you. Thank you.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Stay awesome. And Bob, you stay awesome, okay?
All right, pal. I appreciate it.